Hey y'all. Sorry that haven't been really doing anything this month. I just haven't had any projects, and I've been kind of in an emotional lull through the past month. So yeah, I'm surprised I'm even doing this. But I listened to some good albums and some bad albums. But you know what? Let's just talk about them in the only way I really know how: monthly album review roundup. I got 15 albums here, 3 groups. Let's just do it. This new one from Lizzo is pretty good. I liked a lot of this. In fact, I really liked a lot of this. Judging by the 2 singles, I was kind of concerned. About Damn Time is a great track, and it deserves to be recognized as that. It's probably Lizzo's second best single after Truth Hurts, and third best if Juice was a single, although I don't remember if Juice ever was. However, the track Girls might be Lizzo's worst single. It samples the Beastie Boys' Girls. And I don't know, it's just this auto-tune tirade with half of a flow. It just doesn't really work for me, personally. But I mean, yeah, I mean, there's some great tracks here. I really like the opener, The Sign. I loved To Be Loved, I Am Ready. But my personal favorite is the title track, Special, as well as the closer, Coldplay. Those are all sort of great tracks. However, I do run into issues with this album on a track like I Love You, Bitch, which it seems like more of a shock value track. Same thing with Everybody's Gay. I get that it's supposed to be Everybody's Happy, haha, funny joke, haven't heard that one before, but it feels a lot like queer baiting, if you're asking me, especially with so openly titling it Everybody's Gay, and especially with a song like About Damn Time as the lead single, which has a lyric which is like, in a minute, I'm gonna need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up. Like, it feels a lot like queer baiting. But you know what? This pop record is probably the best one I heard this month on the strictly pop side. So, I don't know, it's good, not great. There's not much more to say about it. I mean, I recommend listening to it, but do be warned, if you're not really into sort of the motivational side of Lizzo, you're not gonna like this one a lot. But I kind of am, so I liked it. I was hella late to this one because I didn't know it existed, but Cannibal Corpse's lead singer Corpse Grinder made a solo record, a solo self-titled debut record. That's a mouthful, and it's pretty mediocre. First of all, where the fuck is the bass on this thing? Maybe I just wasn't hearing it, but after after 3 listens, I didn't hear bass on like any of these songs. Like, it just wasn't there. I don't know if that's because he didn't have a bassist or if it was like an And Justice for All situation where the bass was just poorly mixed in. Other than that, though, I mean, there are redeemable tracks like Acid Vat, like On the Wings of Carnage, that's a pretty good one. Death is the Only Key, I love that riff. Oh my god, the riffs in that song are incredible. I think my favorite track is Crimson Proof, which, I mean, it has the best drum fill on the album with this all-time low sounding, like, percussion style. And it's also just a hell of a good time with Corpse Grinder's best vocals on the record. But the worst crime that this album commits is boredom. There are plenty of tracks here, like All Souls Get Torn, like Defined by Your Demise, Jesus Christ, it's such a bore, like Vaguely Human, which all just bore me to death. And I don't know, maybe that was the intention considering it's Corpse Grinder, but like Vaguely Human is just a ballad pretty much. It's not metal, it doesn't work with his voice, it's just not a good song, and it's very boring for this album. At least songs like Bottom Dweller are kind of interesting with how bad they are, especially with the lyrics on that. Oh my god, Like, don't even listen to the song. Just read through the lyrics. They're so bad. But, I don't know. It's mediocre, but more leaning into the badness. This new one from Shinedown. There's 3 singles for this record. Planet Zero, which I liked a lot more than most people did. The Saints of Violence and Innuendo, another one I liked a lot more than people did. And Daylight, one I liked a lot less than people did. However, I don't know. This album is riddled with its concept or whatever, which just bogs it down. There's so many interludes, and there's so many, like, just random shit. Like, it gets annoying by the last one, which is Delete. I don't know. There are some good tracks here. I like Dead Don't Die. I like No Sleep Tonight, actually quite a fair amount. It has probably the best bass on the album, and it has some pretty solid guitar work as well as some decent drum work. I liked fucking... God, and I hate the fact that I'm saying this, but I liked Clueless and Dramatic a lot. It had some hella guitar with the best solo. There's this energy that I don't think I've heard from Shinedown in a minute. And Sure Is Fun is actually a pretty okay song. I mean, despite the fact that the vocals and the drums are pretty mediocre, the chorus and the interesting guitar work make up for it. But other than that, The Army of the Underappreciated, that song slaps too. Other than that, though, there's not much worth on this record returning to. It kind of runs into the same problem that Corpse Grinder record ran into. And I hate the fact that I'm comparing Shinedown to Corpse Grinder, but here we are. So, I don't know. It has its moments, but overall, is it worth a listen? No. Not even a little bit. The Linda Linda's debut LP, which I am late to, Growing Up. It's pretty good, actually. There's only 2 tracks I'd skip, and it's Talking to Myself and Magic. But, I mean, this is a pretty great LP, especially for a debut. And some garage rock, garage punk. This is really good. I like the singles that I heard, which were Oh and Racist Sexist Boy. Those are both great songs. However, I think my favorite song here is Why, which, I don't know, it just hits me just right. Like, everything meshes together into this perfect angst, kinda, that I really enjoy. Growing Up is really good. I really like Fine, that's a good one too. It has a nice punchy instrumental. Best bass on the album, by the way. Love the bass, love the percussion. By the way, these are like kids. The oldest one I think is 17. So how are they outbeating Shinedown, a band that's been around for 20 plus years, and Cannibal Corpse, a vocalist, or not Cannibal, fuck, that's the band, Corpse Grinder, a vocalist who's been around for like 20 plus years. What? I don't know. I hope to hear more from the Linda Lindas in the future. This is a great debut, and I'll probably see it this season. So, yeah. The thrash metal's greats Municipal Waste come back with a pretty good album. I mean, there are moments on here that maybe drag on a bit too long, Last Crawl being a prime example, or Thermonuclear Protection, or, God, Barreled Rage, but overall, I mean, this is a pretty good album. I like the opener, the title track, Electrified Brain. I like Grave Dive. I like Demoralizer. I really like 10 Cent Beer Night for no reason. Paranormal Janitor, the closer, is actually probably one of my favorite tracks. Has some great guitar. The riff on that is so good. Has a pretty good solo. I mean, I like the drum work. It's a pretty good album. I recommend listening to it. Be prepared for some ones that just don't hit and just overstay their welcome. But overall, pretty good. Not bad. Really like it, guys. Bring thrash metal back. So, Black Midi get the Yard Act treatment. This is the third album from post-punk outfit Black Midi, which, if you watched my 50 best albums last year, they did make it. They were, I believe, just outside of the top 20, unfortunately. But Cavalcade is a great record. There's no doubt about that. Now, Hellfire is not only my favorite Black Midi album, but is my favorite post-punk album, and is my favorite album this year. This is a perfect 10. Every track on this thing hits. I love the opener. I love the singles. I love Still. It's this amazing acoustic. The strings work so well. It goes from, it can be very pleasant at points to just very dark. However, my favorite track, of course, is The Race is About to Begin. This 7-minute epic is just so enjoyable and explosive and gritty. I love it. Of course, Dangerous Lizations. I love the way the vocalist just screams, "Murder!" Oh my god, so good. I know I screwed that up, but it's fine. The Defense has probably the best strings on the album, which, I mean, there's only like, I guess it's used pretty fairly often considering the album. It has probably the second best chorus on the album. Probably the best chorus on the album. And it's just a great time, truthfully. And the closer, 27 questions. I love the way it ends, where it's like, that's not quite 27, but you know what, I've had a long day. Like, I love that for some reason. I love the subtle strings in this one. I love the percussion. I love this like anthemic kind of intro. It's a perfect album. This is a 10 out of 10. I could not recommend it more. Unless another 10 comes this year, which, by the way, that'd be 3 10s in a year, and I don't think that's happened since, like, 2016 for me, so that's pretty cool. But unless another 10 comes this year, this is my album of the year. The Overload is great, still gonna be my number 2, but this is better. This is the best album I've heard this year. This is probably the best album of the 2020s so far. So, yeah. It's a great album. Go check it out. Listen to it. It's like 45 minutes long. It's not that long. It's a great album. Listen, please. We got the debut album from Divorced Dads here. Divorced Dads is someone I've been keeping my eye on since I saw them on Air TV's recently listened to, and I listened to their song Bottle, which was the only song they had at the time. I really enjoyed it, so I just kept tabs on them. And what do you know? They released their debut album without the single Seltzer on it, which is their best song, and I stand by that. It's a great song. Please just go listen to the song Seltzer. If you like Seltzer, you'll like this album at least a little bit. If you don't like Seltzer, this album isn't for you. This is some good indie pop. I like the track Hey. It's very pleasant. The synths work just right. I like the track Talk to Me. It's very emotive. It has some solid piano and some great vocals. I love the track Down for this. I love the vocals, and it's just a vibe, but the instrumental is great, and the piano intro just hits perfectly. If you're going to skip a track, skip Living It Up and Further. Those are two boring and bad tracks. There's really no point to having them on the album, only to make the album longer. Overall, I mean, it's good, not great, but I still recommend the listen. New one from Viagra Boys here, and yeah, I was very mediocre on this one. A lot of people loved it, including Big Daddy Boy Fantano Melonhead, but I don't know. I think it had its moments. The intro, Baby Criminal, probably my favorite Viagra Boys track, aside from the next track after the interlude, Troglodyte. Jesus, that's a great track. I liked the Cognitive Trade-Off Hypothesis. That's a pretty good track. I liked Ain't No Thief a lot. That's probably my favorite track, actually. ADD is really good, and the closer Return to Monkey has only grown on me. But there are 3 problems. The single is absolute horseshit. It makes me feel disgusting listening to it, and I'm not even sure why. I think it's the vocal take, but I also think it's the mix between the instrumental and the vocal take. There are way too many interludes on this album. There are 3 of them for no reason, and they get more and more annoying as they go. And finally, this album has the song Big Boy on it, which is just a terrible track. Do not listen to it. It is not good. This is a very mediocre album for me. And if you like it, more power to you. I'm not trying to take anything away, but I cannot stand it. So, well, I can stand it. I cannot stand some of it. So, there's my take. New one from Superorganism. I didn't listen to their last LP, but I heard it was really good. And this one, I don't know. I wasn't really feeling it. Some of the tracks, like the opener Black Hole Baby, or Put Down Your Phone, especially Put Down Your Phone, Solar System, or Don't Let the Colony Collapse, or Everything Falls Apart, are songs that just perfect what sound I think they're going for really well. In fact, on every one of these tracks, I like the vocalist, but I don't know. Tracks like Oh Come On and not Oh Come On, that's just mediocre. Crushed Zipped, It's Raining, Teenager, Worldwide Pop, they make me want to stop listening. Like, and there's more of those moments on this album than there are moments to balance it out. This album is very much a mixed bag, but it mixes closer to the bad territory than it does the good. It's mediocre, but it leans into bad too much. New mixtape from West Side Gun, and I've never really been a fan of West Side Gun, I'm not gonna lie, but I have admired the fact that this guy has energy. Like, this guy does. He's doing something, while yes, other people are doing it and doing it better, like Playboy Cardi on Die Lit, or Triple X Tentacion in his early-ish days, or Ski Mask the Slump God. I think he has a niche, and I think he hit it. But on this mixtape, he just missed. There are exactly 3 tracks that I think are mediocre at best. 2 of them are good. 1 of them is mediocre. Everything else on this album is a take it, is just a leave it, really. Sorry, 4 tracks, my bad, I miscounted. The track Jesus Crack is the epitome of what is wrong with this album. The mixtape, sorry. The mixtape drags on, and it doesn't have anything to say, it doesn't have anything to add to itself, it just keeps going. There's no point. Why am I still listening to it? Why did I listen to this mixtape 3 times? Content, I guess. I don't know. It's a it's a bad mixtape. It has its moments, but overall, it's just a mediocre, boring equals bad sort of mixtape. Alright. We got the second album of the year for Jack White, and a lot of people felt really mediocre on this one. I don't know why, but I really liked it. I liked it as much as Fear of the Dawn. While I think Fear of the Dawn is better, I don't know, I liked it. A tip from you to me, it just slaps. There's nothing we can do about it. All Along the Way is pretty good. I like the 3 singles we got, because one of them was a B-side to Heidi Ho, I believe. But Love is Selfish is a nice acoustic sort of ballad type song, and the acoustic guitar work on that song is really good, actually. Queen of the Bees, if you're not into that song, I can see why it's annoying, but I'm really into it, so I love it. And If I Die Tomorrow, features some of Jack White's best vocals and a really convincing premise, I guess. I don't know. I really liked Please God Don't Tell Anyone. That's a great track. A Madman from Manhattan is pretty good. While this album does have its pitfalls, like Help Me Along the Way and I've Got You Surrounded with My Love, and of course the Taking Me Back Gently version, which was technically a single, it's just annoying, truthfully. I don't like that version. I like the original a lot, don't like that version. But if you're willing to indulge it for the 45-minute runtime, I believe, then it's a good listen. It's a great listen, even. I think this album is great, nothing more, nothing less. I'll see it at year end, but it'll probably end up like Cavalcade last year. I'm sorry. It'll probably end up below the top 25. This new one from Joey Badass is just wildly disappointing. The singles were all good except for fucking... Well, no, actually, I liked all of them. I at least liked all of them. Where I Belong is a good song and nothing more. Zip Codes is a great song and nothing more. Head High is a great song, and Survivor's Guilt is my favorite. And then The Revenge, which isn't on the album, is good, not great. It's Joey basically indulging himself into pop rap type stuff that has been going on since 2012, when 1999 dropped. But, yeah. So what about the album? Well, I'm glad you asked. There is exactly 2 tracks on the album that even hold a candle to the singles. Brand new 911, brand new 911, sorry, and Eulogy. That's it. Those are the 2. Done. Everything else, scrap it. Throw it away. The Baddest, maybe you can find something good in it. I didn't, but I recognize that maybe that was just me not seeing it. Everything else, throw it away. It's done. You lost it. The Chris Brown song, easily the worst track on the album. Chris Brown has not sounded more bored in his life, and I don't see what Joey Badass sees in him. Wanna Be Loved, JID's weakest performance ever, probably. And Joey Badass's weakest performance on the album. Written in the Stars drags on for far too long. Maybe if it was like a 2-3 minute song, it could have been good, but it just doesn't have enough to say or enough to change to justify it being 5 minutes long, like Survivor's Guilt does. It's overall just a mediocre album that is good occasionally. This new EP from M. Behold, sorry, I don't know how to say her name, I'm sorry. This is 7 tracks. Listen to maybe 3 of them. I don't know, it's okay. It's a 4 out of 10, really. But Numb Little Bug is a perfect song. There's nothing we can do about that. Porcelain is a great song. There's nothing I can do about that. Spider-Man is a good song. There's probably something I can do about that, but I just don't want to. I like the little acoustic ballad, and I like the idea of it, and it's just pretty. Everything else, though, on this album, it's pretty boring. Goo, what is this premise, man? Egg in the backseat, like, you're drunk? Is that the idea? I don't know. Overall, it's a pretty mediocre EP. If you want something that you can turn your brain off to, this is certainly something I'd recommend. But if you're actually looking for some indie pop to indulge yourself into, boy, do I have the album for you. Not sure if we're counting this as indie pop, but oh my god, did I like this. The opener, Overdrive, pretty great. Honey, just as good as Halsey's Honey, if you're asking me. I'm so sorry I said that. Look, this album is not for everyone, I'll recognize that, but if it is for you, it really is for you. Tracks like Shatter, tracks like Horses, tracks like Different Kind of World, pretty great. I like them a lot. Tracks, however, like I've Got a Friend, which really just have pointlessness in them. It's an acoustic ballad, but there's a bunch of weird stuff happening in the studio. Wacky. I'm so sorry. Look, it's a good album. It's not great. It's good. That's a running theme with this month. It's either mediocrely bad or it's good, not great. But, I mean, that's a pretty decent month, I guess. Especially considering the last album I have is the worst album from this month. This new Sean Leon mixtape is not good. Exactly 2 tracks I like. Why, of course. Yes, of course. Honestly slaps. It has the best hook on the album. It has the best flow on the album. It has the best beat on the album. And the bass is just perfect. Highly recommend that track. Legend Part 1. It has a nice guitar and string intro, and the beat is pretty good, and I like the flow. So I like it. But everything else on this is just to leave it. Phases, the intro drags on, the beat is just okay, the flow is so generic, and the chorus is so bad. Curbs, it has the most mediocre beat, the flow is the most mediocre, and the hook is the most mediocre. It all is just mediocre. The outro, it's a spoken outro, but it just drags on for so long. It doesn't need to be 4 minutes. It can be 3, it can be 2, and it'd be good. But it's just too much, you know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, transition, yeah, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, Anthony. Look, this month was good. There were great moments. There were bad moments, but overall it was a pretty good month. Next month I'll be doing the Kendrick Lamar discography review. By the way, the artist after Kendrick has been decided because nobody commented on the Kendrick video. It is System of a Down, next discography review, and then December I will be deciding the artist, so look forward to that, I guess. Yeah, and then next month, of course, I'll still have the monthly album review, and the month after that, I don't know what I'm doing for the passion project. If I can get the thing I want to get done before it, I'll do that, but for some reason, I'm doubting I will, so I'll think of something, I guess. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to subscribe, please. I have something planned at 100, so if y'all get it to 100, I'd be happy to do that. But yeah, enjoy your evening, day, week, whatever you're doing. Make it good. Peace.